The history of the icon is very interesting, with many healings that took place through prayers before it. The prototype of the Moscow myrrh streaming icon of the Tsar Martyr was painted in 1996 in California by the icon painter Pavel Tikhomarov, commissioned by representatives of the Russian Orthodox Church outside of Russia. In 1997, color lithographs of this icon were brought from the USA to Russia and distributed among Orthodox parishes and families. One of them, presented to the Moscow surgeon Oleg Ivanovich Belchenko, exuded myrrh on the anniversary of the October Revolution, November 7, 1998. The fragrance and myrrh streaming of the icon is especially strong on the memorable days of the royal family. The icon has visited more than 50 dioceses and dozens of countries around the world. The scale of the icon's social service is very wide. It includes military units, hospitals, and remote monasteries. The keeper of the miraculous image, the Moscow surgeon Oleg Belchenko, has traveled with it to churches and monasteries in Russia and abroad for many years. Lately, due to his age, Oleg has handed over this honorary mission to Alexander Fedorovich Chernavsky, a publicist and head of the NGO Orthodox Mission for the Revival of the Spiritual Values of the Russian People. One of the miracles through prayers before the icon is the healing of a woman suffering from a severe kidney disease. After venerating the myrrh streaming icon with a prayer, in some incomprehensible way, she lost 8 kilograms. The excess liquid was gone from the woman's body without a drop of sweat or any other physical sign. This is just one of the many miracles. Story of Alexander Vaitkov, 1999, Moscow, Russia. This particular miracle happened on behalf of Alexander Vaitkov, who, at age 87, was healed of blindness in front of the myrrh streaming icon of Tsar Martyr Nicholas II in June 1999 in Moscow, Russia. In 1984, Alexander was diagnosed with an eye disease in which cells in the center of the retina begin to die off. Doctors could do nothing to help him, and within a few years, his correctable vision was reduced to less than 30%. Alexander had been an atheist for many decades and had habitually referred to Tsar Nicholas as Bloody Nicholas, a period of his life that he now regrets. A few years later, he suffered a major heart attack, underwent emergency surgery, and recovered. Convinced that he had been saved through the intercession of the Mother of God, Alexander became a practicing Orthodox Christian. In 1999, he heard Father Alexander Shargunov speaking on Radio Radonez about people who had been healed through the intercession of the Tsar Martyr. Learning that the myrrh streaming icon was in the Church of the Holy Trinity in Moscow, he went there on June 2 to attend a molben. After the service, Alexander made his way to the priest, Father Alexei Uminsky, asking to be healed of his blindness. Father Alexei answered,
"If you want to be healed, pray to Tsar Martyr Nicholas with me."
Alexander describes what happened next.
Father Alexei led me over to the icon of Tsar Martyr Nicholas and placed my face right on the icon, holding my head down with his hand. Then he covered my face with a towel that had myrrh on it from the icon and began to pray. I don't know what prayer he recited because my hearing is poor. Then he raised my head, covered my face with the towel containing the myrrh, and pressed the towel to my eyes with his fingers 3 times while saying another prayer. A few days later, I had to write something. It was June 9th. Before then, I had to write from memory because I couldn't see the lines. I had to write letter by letter, and if I got distracted, I never knew which letter to write next. But then, my lord, I still can't believe it. I could see everything. I could see the lines and the letters. I can't believe it even now, but I see. After this healing, I know once and for all that the Tsar truly prays for those who love him, and the Lord helps people through his prayers. He waited for me, and in the end, he didn't reject me. O holy royal martyrs, pray to God for us.
Story of Irina Ryabova, May 15, 2013. Healing from papilloma.
I, Ryabova Irina Nikolaevna, born in 1973, want to tell you about the miracle of healing that happened to me from the myrrh streaming icon of Tsar Nicholas II. At the end of autumn 2012, I developed a papilloma on my chest, which began to bother me and hurt me. I went to a gynecologist who advised me to see a surgeon, which I tried to do repeatedly, but for various reasons, I could not do this. It was God's will, because soon I learned that a miraculous icon of Nicholas II had been brought to the village of Simakovo. I decided to ask the Holy Tsar for help with healing. Having visited the church and kissed the icon just once, I noticed that the papilloma had suddenly increased in size and turned black, then fell off. It was amazing that everything had gone so quickly and painlessly, and no traces of the disease remained.
Story of Milan Dragovic, May 20th, 2013. Cancer survivor.
I, Milan Dragovic, testify to the healing of lymphoma from the myrrh streaming icon of the Holy Tsar Nicholas II. On March 19, 2013, I was prescribed another chemotherapy injection, but I asked the doctor to postpone it until the next day, and on March 19th, I and 60 people went to the patronal feast and prayed at the myrrh streaming icon. The church's rector, Archpriest Petr Vlashenko, anointed me and 3 other people with holy myrrh from the icon of Tsar Nicholas. After all this, already at home in the city of Ivanovo, I lay down to rest at 5 p.m. I felt severe pain in the center of the disease. The next day, I was given an injection, which I did not feel at all, although other injections were accompanied by a high temperature and were very painful. The next 2 injections were also painless. On May 6, 2013, I was given the final diagnosis. The tumor was gone, and I was healed of cancer. I thank God and Saint Tsar Nicholas for the healing.
Story of Xenia, Russia. Healing through prayers.
Through the prayers of the Holy Royal Passion Bearers, my grandfather John was healed. His eye was festering. I anointed him with blessed nard myrrh while praying to the Holy Tsar Nicholas and his entire family. Grandfather was healed. Glory to God and his saints.
Story of Nikolai Vladimirovich Blokhin, writer, 24 August 1998, quit smoking.
I, Nikolai Vladimirovich Blokhin, am a 50-year-old. I declare that a miracle of healing from smoking occurred to me before the miraculous icon of the Holy Royal Martyrs, as well as a spiritual renewal. That day, Abbot Agathon, Priest Peter, and Novice Sergius from the monastery of St. Nicholas took me somewhere by car. As soon as I found myself in an apartment, I was stunned by waves of fragrance. I could not imagine that such a thing existed. In my throat, I felt the physical effect of this, for me, no longer an aroma but something higher, which I cannot describe in words. The intensity of the fragrance was enormous and supernatural, as if myrrh had been poured throughout the room. During the hour that I stood before it, the aura of holiness around the head of Tatiana became especially bright, and at the same hour, another trickle of blood appeared on her face. I fall on my knees, face down on the floor, and sob so much. It is impossible to knock a tear out of me. In my entire conscious life I have never cried. I did not cry at the death and funeral of my 18-year-old son. And what burst out of me then were not just tears and sobbing. It was the Holy Royal Martyrs, with their whole family burning out the filth in me. After that, I quit smoking for good. But now I am firmly convinced that those depicted on the icon are truly saints. O Holy Royal Martyrs, pray to God for us.